unlikely matchup with a lot more in common than you might think. But which one is the best? Let's find out. Starting off with performance. Now, the reason why I pit these two cars against each other is because they both come with all-wheel drive, which is the basis of this comparison. Plus, they also both come with a 1.6 liter turbo 4-cylinder. Although the Kona N line makes 195 horsepower, the K5 GT line actually makes 15 less than that. But they both make 195 foot-pounds of torque. The main difference between them, though, is in the transmissions. The K5 comes with an 8-speed automatic, while the Kona comes with a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. Oddly enough, though, the Kona doesn't have paddle shifters despite that. I don't know why. 0 to 60 times are also very similar. The Kona can get to 60 in 7.3 seconds, while the K5 can get to 60 in 7 seconds flat. So the K5 gets the edge in this category. And now on to the next category, that is miles per gallon. The Kona gets the win here with an EPA combined rating of 29 miles per gallon. The K5 is right behind it with a combined rating of 27 miles per gallon. Something to keep in mind though, I believe the K5 has a larger gas tank, so technically you would get more range in the K5. Now it's time for the next category, handling. Both come with 18-inch wheels wrapped in 235/45 tires. Both also come with 12-inch front and 11.2-inch rear disc brakes. You get 6.7 inches of ground clearance in the Kona, which is almost an inch and a half more than the K5. Lastly, the K5 is surprisingly almost 200 pounds heavier than the Kona, with a weight of 3,465 pounds. Honestly, I'm not sure which one would be a better handling car. In a corner, I'm betting on the K5 because of the lower center of gravity, but over bumps, I'm betting on the Kona. So basically, I'd call it a tie. Now, let's move on to the styling aspect, starting off with the exterior. And I'd had to give this one to the K5 because I love the heartbeat DRLs in the headlights and the dashes of light that go all across the taillights. The overall shape of the car is pretty spectacular and definitely noticeable on the road, especially in that wolf gray color. Not gonna lie to you though, for being a compact SUV, the Kona is definitely quite the looker. Wheels specifically, I actually prefer the Kona's wheels to the K5's. Well, let's head on in and talk about the interior styling. I'm about to start some controversy here, but I actually like the interior of the Kona more than the K5. I just like the way how the Kona has an overall cleaner look than the K5, even if it is kind of bland. To me, the K5 just has a tad bit too much silvery, chromy, plasticky aluminum bits. The other downside of the K5 is that it doesn't come with a digital gauge cluster like the Kona has. On the upside though, you can get red leathery interior in the K5 as opposed to just sport cloth in the Kona. Moving on to arguably the most important category for this channel, practicality. Surprisingly, the numbers are closer than I anticipated. The K5 has 40.2 inches of headroom up front, which is like half an inch more headroom than the Kona, but in the rear, they're exactly the same at 37.8 inches. That's without any of the sunroofs, by the way. In terms of legroom, the K5 gets a very solid 46.1 inches of legroom up front, which is 4.6 more inches than the Kona. But they both have the exact same 35.2 inches of legroom in the rear. The Kona does get the advantage in trunk space with a volume of 19.2 cubic feet, whereas the K5 gets 16 cubic feet. In the end though, the K5 gets the win for a total interior volume of 121.3 cubic feet, thanks to the extra shoulder and hip room, which is 8 more cubic feet than the Kona. And lastly, we're moving on to the price. The all-wheel drive Hyundai Kona N-Line starts with an MSRP of $27,350. Certain paint options cost an extra $400. There's also a $2,500 tech package, which gets you some cool stuff like 10.25 inch navigation screen, plus an 8-speaker Harman Kardon sound system. The K5 has an MSRP of $27,790. Certain paint costs an extra $445. There's also a $1,900 premium package that adds things like a panoramic sunroof and a heated steering wheel. So, depending on how you spec it out and what the destination cost is, will determine which one is actually more expensive. Technically, the cheapest is the Kona, so it gets the win here. I know, the ultimate comparison would be an actual test drive, but given all of this information, I'd love to hear which one you would get and why down in the comments below. Or if you got any more comparisons you'd like to see me cover, drop those down in the comments too. But for me in this scenario, I would actually get the K5 for a very super simple reason. Some may even call it a stupid reason. I'd get the K5 GT line because of the wireless charger. Yep, I mean, check it out. Instead of just having the phone lay up under the dashboard, there's a special little slot for it right in front of the center console. I love that level of integration, and I imagine it holds the phone a whole lot better than those regular charging pads. Actually, I don't know. I don't have a car with a wireless charger to test that out. But if you do, let me know if it works all right. Before you go, I have a very, very special announcement. We've gotten over 60 subscribers. Yay! Now, I may be celebrating a little bit early, but check it out. We got shirts. You can click the link in the description, which will take you to my wife's Etsy shop. Yep, she makes my shirts. So not only will you be supporting me and this channel, you'll be supporting my wife and her shop, which is actually more important. But that's it for me today. Thank you all so much for spending time with me. It really means a lot. If you enjoyed this video, then please consider liking and subscribing. And I'll catch you all in the next one. But until then, see ya.